Perfect. Thank you. Hi, all. Well, thank you for having me here. I'm here to talk about Andamio. Andamio exists to enable people to onboard and contribute to collaborative projects so that they can make a meaningful impact. And our main goal is to build a trust network of people who can connect to solve problems and help organizations grow. Andamio's learning platform is an open source and collaborative system that includes the following structure: a project-based learning platform, course modules to teach a skill or verify that someone already has it, and learning targets, which are crucial structural elements focused on specific objectives connected to skills. To give a simple example, a learning target can be opening a Yoroi wallet, a module can include how to send and receive funds, and a course could be multiple modules on Yoroi wallet functionality like connecting DEX to DEXs, buying assets, etc. Modules and learning targets are used flexibly to onboard new contributors, which basically means that the content is reusable. For example, a learning target of connecting to a Yoroi wallet can also be a learning target for a course on DEXs. Multiple parties can develop and share content with each other through a marketplace where they are able to pick and choose the best modules and learning targets suitable to their needs. Normally, we use certification as a key measure. For example, I studied at this and this university. However, this fails to indicate if the skills acquired are really relevant, which creates inefficiencies when bringing teams together to work on projects or solving problems. Andamio solves this issue by focusing on translating skills and enabling the matchmaking of skilled learners with contribution opportunities. This process includes matchmaking between skills and contribution opportunities, verification of work done and registered as part of the credentials of the contributor, and a treasury mechanism to pay the contributor for the work done. Each part of the protocol is a standalone solution that can serve various purposes for organizations, but the ecosystem really enables the full potential of our solution, from onboarding through education to connecting learners with contribution opportunities, which provides organizations a targeted approach to onboarding by identifying the skills missing to contribute to their specific needs. We've built our proof of concept with limited resources, but it has already shown great promise. We've learned valuable lessons from our Fund 11 work, and we're looking for funding to support getting our product to a broader audience. Our team has some incredible developers, but as you'll see when you look at the website, and I hope they're not offended by me saying this, they are not the best at graphic design. And we believe that Andamio can be a great bridge to the Web2 legacy world, and some help with branding and marketing could go a long way towards helping us reach that crowd, which is the main goal of that first proposal. And our second proposal is aimed at onboarding developers to Go, which is a powerful programming language developed by Google. One of the main strengths of Go is concurrency and performance, which are two features that are highly valuable in Cardano. So we plan to teach others to build on Go by building an Andamio CLI on Go. That's it for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Roberto. Great presentations. Do we have
Thank
any
you.
questions?
Sunny?
I have a question. Oh, sorry.
Please.
Go, Sunny, go.
No.
Pardon.
Rafael.
let's if it's
Rafael went
right with
first
you.
and said he had a
Okay.
question. So.
Rafael, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Hello, Roberto. One question. You were mentioning the matching skills with contributions, which I think is a very interesting idea. And my question is, how would that be done? So you have the onboarding platform with learnings. The people do that, they learn, and then there will be some kind of marketplace for contributions. How can people contribute? How can companies or people using the platform ask for certain contributions they need?
So the idea is you traditionally, and this might help clarify, and there was a question also related to this, and what we see is you go the traditional way of organizations to onboard contributors to their organizations is you go through a process of job analysis. You go to do a job description, then you put the job in some platform like LinkedIn, and then on the other side you have a learner that has some education and experience, which transforms into a curriculum, a CV, right? And there's no connection in between the two. What we try to do is change it into a problem-solving focus where the organization, they know the problem that they're aiming to solve, and they probably have a really good idea what are the skills that are required to solve that problem and what those standards that the organization has requires. So the idea is that the organization creates those resources to create those skills in the learner. That's why we focus on student learning targets, because they are basically a a learning tool that focuses on learner autonomy and emphasizes mastery and autonomy and purpose learning. So the aim of student learning targets is to create deep understanding. So it makes it easier and more flexible to create credentials based on student learning targets, which basically translate into skills acquired with contributions that that same organization has sort of created resources to contribute to those contribution opportunities. And you can start seeing how this as a network becomes sort of just connecting the dots, right? You find skills that are relevant to certain contributions, and those are probably translatable to other contributions. And this, as interactions grow within the network, you can start fine-tuning those, what learning targets go best with what skills, what contribution opportunities. And this way your credentials start becoming more relevant for certain contribution opportunities. You can start specializing, you can go through other courses and just acquire more skills and then get access to other contribution opportunities. And the idea is to create those dynamics within the system where the incentives are just in the right place along the full pipeline, from initially coming to like an ecosystem and start learning, acquiring skills, to organizations understanding how they providing resources to learners or potential contributors can help them onboard easily contributors to their organizations and grow.
Thank you.
Great answer. And I think I might have even answered a little bit what I was going to ask. So I'm going to switch my question a little bit. But I was going to start with the fact, the Cardano Foundation has an academy. And I don't know if you're connected with them or if you're collaborating with them, but like, how is it different to the way that they are delivering the education from the basics to I know the method you're doing probably isn't done by them, but what I'm saying is, like, how are you getting out there compared to what they're doing? Like, are you going for the same markets or the same people? And my other question is this available in other languages? Because I already see synergies and where we can work with you in terms of Kakuma Refugee Camp and the University of Nairobi. And they would need something like this. So I'm glad you said you've got a working prototype. But yeah, so how are you compared to the Cardano Academy, Cardano Foundation?
To the first question, we are talking with Emergo and Cardano Foundation and other organizations focused on learning, because Andamio is open source and is modular. So anyone, Cardano Foundation, can spin up their own instance, and that instance is completely independent, works autonomously from Andamio. We don't really, it's not centralized at all. So they could grab it. They could grab the content that's in their academy right now and just put it on Andamio. Something that there are very few things that we are opinionated on, but one of them, and probably a lot of you know James Dunseith, he's the founder of Gimbal Labs. He has a strong teaching background, and our emphasis on student learning targets is something that we are opinionated on because it has a purpose. And we believe that one of the things that we think about is education is the way that it is provided now, which is basically teaching you to memorize the best answers that people think that are possible. It's not conducive to critical thinking, to communication and collaboration, and all these things that we are going to need more and more in the future as technology becomes a more important part of our work. So what we do try to focus on is two things: project-based learning and student learning targets. So that is something that we offer. We are doing, for example, we're working with Singularity Net. We're doing a deep funding academy, which, like Yoram mentions in the chat, is doing the similar role of onboarding to a process similar to Catalyst, which is training you to be a proposer, a reviewer, or a voter. And that is, we are training the trainers, like someone mentioned before in the presentation, which is teaching them about project-based learning and about student learning targets, how they can be used. So ideally, what we would like to do is take that content from Cardano Foundation Academy, take that content from Emergo Academy, and place it in this kind of system. Why? Because we are already mentioned that it focuses on student autonomy, but it's also sort of recursive learning. And I don't have time to go into student learning targets specifically, but I did mention that it's a key structural element because it's sort of the learner assesses their own learning as they go, because it's an I can statement. That's why the first slide is like, I can contribute, I can learn, I can commit, is because they can self-determine when that student learning target is achieved by some mastery-based assessment, which is all part of the system. It's a bit convoluted to explain it in a few words, but the main difference is that the focus on the methodology towards teaching and learning.
Beautiful. And it will be in other languages.
It's open source, so you can grab it, you can translate it, you can do anything that you want with it, and we can certainly help and try to make it available as soon as possible. Like we said, the prototype and everything is made with really limited resources, and the system that goes behind, like Sarah said, doing escrow and doing treasury management, role-based access tokens, and all these kinds of things, they're fairly complicated and take time. So we definitely want to make this available to as broad an audience as possible. We think this is actually a great bridge to the Web2 world, because this is definitely a pain point for many organizations. If you look right now at a company, a traditional company costs around $5,000 US, at least. Obviously, maybe that's a little bit specific to countries like or the EU or US, but that's definitely a ridiculous amount of money to pay to onboard someone to your company. And you can kind of see how that happens when you have a CV that you have to go rounds and rounds and rounds of interviews just so the company can get an idea of whether you're a good fit or not. It certainly kind of tells something about that instrument not being the best suited for that purpose.
I just want to say I'm really happy that I don't have to choose between you and the Cardano Foundation Academy. The fact that you're working together is very, very helpful for me. So thank you for that.
Thank you,
Okay.
gentlemen. And thank you. Thomason, thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. I really love your passion, Roberto. You're very similar to Sunny.
Thank
And
you.